All right, now that I've filled your mind with all kinds of random stuff, let's go ahead and get right into group coaching. Happy Monday to you guys. Super excited to be here. Busy day for me. I started out in Lathrop. Here in Oakland. I have group coaching, a meeting here. Then I'm heading up to Sacramento. Molly and I will be there for the afternoon. So if anyone wants to roll through our co-working space in Sacramento, let me just share the address with everybody really quick. The address is, just so everybody knows, and if they want to come through, 1610 R Street. That is in the Spaces building. It's a really cool building in Midtown. Absolutely recommend that you guys roll through. I'm getting some background noise. If somebody is doing stuff, can you mute yourself? Because I don't see who it is. Hold on really quick. Judith, do you see Naomi? Can you mute yourself? Thank you. Perfect. So we're going to be there this afternoon. So before we go ahead and get cracking on this beautiful morning, I'm going to turn it. Maria, what's up? How are you? Good to see you. Let's do this. I'm going to turn it over to who is not driving. Kaleem, bro, I haven't seen you in a minute, bro. How you been? Good to see you. I know you've been hitting the books, bro. Why don't you bring us out on the field today on this beautiful Monday morning, bro? So let's hear from you.
What's going on, you guys? I have been taking a break because my real estate training classes for my tests are kind of at the same time as this. I had taken my test last week and got a 67% on it. So I guess, back to the drawing board. Can't give up on anything. Just got to keep going. I know it's going to happen one day. You just got to stay persistent on things.
Let me ask a question, and this is good for him to hear. Can I have 3 people just chime in? High-level advice, what would you tell him if you didn't pass your first time? What's some advice that you would give my man Kaleem to keep his head in the game? But also, what are some strategies and some techniques that you may have used to pass your test? So let's go to you, Cortez.
Well, I failed the test twice. The first time I failed it, I got a 69. So I was real confident the second time, so I didn't even study, and I got like a 53. So a buddy of mine told me about Prep Agent, and all I did was just take the practice test over and over again until I just was acing the practice test on prepagent.com. And the next time I passed. So
yeah,
just
I suggest I did nothing for 30 days except for 2 hours a day, just practice, exam. I'd put some music on and I would sit there and like zone out and just go through the questions. I didn't make flashcards. I didn't make any of that, man. I just literally did practice exams. Let's hear from you, Hector. You had your hand up, bro.
I did basically the same thing Cortez did. I failed my test twice, but I didn't give up. I was like, man, I was really cocky the first time. I thought I was going to pass it. I was 1% off. I was like, I got this. The second time, no, the test completely changed like material. And I was like, okay, I think I really have to study. Yeah. So I did a crash course. That guy I did the crash course with at the time was at a different brokerage company. Guess who he's with now? He's at EXP teaching it. So the crash course really taught me. The next day I passed it.
I highly recommend Prep Agent, bro. Like if you're not using that, definitely put yourself on game with Prep Agent. Let's hear from Renee, and then we're going to move on, you guys. Renee, high-level advice. What would you say to Kaleem right now?
Hi. So Kaleem, I actually took the test the same day as you. I saw you, but I didn't know for sure if it was you. So, yeah, and I actually passed, but my advice, because I was super scared and like the whole time I was like super nervous, sweating back there. But so for a month straight, I didn't listen to music in the car. I listened to Prep Agent podcasts. Every time I would get in the car driving to work, whatever I did, I just listened to podcasts. So that really helped because I'm not like the person that can just take a practice exam and be like, okay, I'm just going to remember everything. So I actually did make the flashcards. I listened to Prep Agent, California Realty Training. I actually purchased the course, and I can meet up with you, and I don't mind helping you study because I didn't have anyone going through the process. So I know how hard it could be.
Yes, I love this. I love that. And congratulations to you. But like, look at that. You got someone there that's willing to support and to help you, bro. You've been a part of this journey for a while. You've already been a part of my family, our family, bro. So we're here to support you 100%, man. And we know that it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Sometimes it takes a couple. And I remember like I always made it a part, like, dude, I was working, but I knew I was out of there. Check this out, you guys. I was an admissions advisor at a college called Heald College. I don't know if you guys remember that. They had locations here in the Bay. I was an admissions advisor for the one in Fresno. And I was like, I'm done with this shit. And before, like between appointments, I'd have my computer up, but my computer, my manager's office was there and we had glass windows. And so I'd be on here, like acting like I was like making calls and stuff, but I had my computer up all day long. And then I would just switch screens. And like, I was constantly looking at those questions. So it was just a part of who I was. And like my every single habit, anytime I had 10 minutes taking a shit on a walk at a stoplight, whatever it was, man, I was looking at those questions, always looking at those questions. So let's go ahead and move on, you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. And listen, you guys, when I don't do group coaching, I actually miss you guys. I know it's crazy to think, but this is my world. This is where I exist. This is where I feel like, I'll have the highest impact on you guys. And so laying in bed is not something I do well, but I had to do that. I'm still recovering. So appreciate you guys. And thanks for working hard regardless. So let's talk about a couple things. I'm reading this book and it's from an author. It's from the CEO of a company called Oradium. And Oradium is a leading messaging design consulting firm that works with hundreds and hundreds of large companies and Fortune 500 companies. And I always look when I'm reading communication books, I look for the correlation, obviously, and how that reflects to what we do in business. And so I want to have some dialogue with you guys today. I want to have some open conversations about this today, but I want to hit you guys with my thoughts to pop this off this morning. So there's obvious studies that correlate communication effectiveness with leadership effectiveness and business effectiveness. How many people, by a show of hands, have felt in the last 5 years or last 3 years or since their time in real estate that they have had to develop better communication skills? Give me a reaction on the screen. If through this business, naturally, you have had to form better communication skills. Okay, perfect. I'm going to raise my hand high as I could possibly do because this is something that has been super, super important for me since day one being in business. Okay. Every presentation that you guys do, and I want you to truly, truly think about it, because when you think about your career and what you're doing, and I don't care if you are Melody, I don't care if you're Cynthia, I don't care if you're Anna Pacheco, I don't care if you're Hector, I don't care if you're Dan, no matter how long you've been in this game, you guys are all doing presentations. Different style presentations at different time. You guys might be doing more phone presentations and buyer presentations, but as you grow and develop, you might be doing more investor presentations. You might be doing more listing presentation. You might be doing presentations with the whole family because they brought their uncle, their auntie, their dad, and everyone else. So now you're becoming this presenter of a group. So stay with me here. We present in our world because of what? We want people to do something. And what is that something? We want people to sign a listing agreement. We want people to agree to work with us. We want people to say, yeah, I'm going to submit that offer because I think that your strategy, Isabel, is a great strategy. And we think that, yeah, going that $100,000 over is going to win. So we present because we want people to move in a certain direction, right? Consumers say yes to an appointment. So when they say yes to an appointment, that's your first stage of you really presenting. And so I want you to look at this. We're always selling ideas to other people at all times. We're talking about our health. We're talking about new fitness things that we're into. We're talking about new movies. We're talking about new ideas. We're talking about new things that are going on in our life. So we're always selling something, right? And you think about all the things that you guys have been associated with over the years, you're always selling people something, right? In your culminating moment, I love these words, these culminating moment. When it's your chance, how well you communicate your ideas, this is going to play a pivotal role in whether you get the outcome that you were looking for. So let me share that with you again. In your culminating moment, the moment of truth, right? Person picks up the phone. Person says, yeah, I'd love to meet with you to talk about buying a home. Yeah, I'd love to have a meeting with you to talk about selling my $1.2 million property that we've owned since 1988. In that culminating moment, how well you communicate your ideas are going to play a pivotal role in whether you get the outcome that you are looking for. Do you guys agree with that? Cool, thank you. So let's talk a little bit about your messaging and your sales messaging. And whether you want to call it a advocation messaging, whatever the messaging is, at the end of the day, we're in a sales role, call it whatever you will. But I want to do a simple survey. And if you guys are not driving, please do this with me because I think that it's super important. And if you guys have the ability to do so, let's do a simple survey together. And I want you guys to rank yourself between 1 and 10. 1 is the absolute worst at this, right? It needs 100% improvement. So it is awful. The 10 is it's absolutely incredible. Okay. So A, I want you to write this down on a scale from 1 to 10. Are you able right now, do you feel that you truly understand the quality of your services that you offer, right? That the company offers, the resources that we have, right? And let's just take this from a context of working with a seller because that's easy for everyone to understand. Do you guys, on a scale from 1 to 10, fully understand the quality of the services that you present, that you offer, that we as a company provide, the marketing, the tools, the research, or the reach on social media? Are you guys fully, do you understand the quality of your services on a scale from 1 to 10? I'm going to let you guys rank yourself really quick, and then I want you guys to share some of your numbers with me openly so I can hear from you guys.
Hey, Elias.
Yo.
Could I take this moment to interrupt you? I have a guest on the line. She might have joined now. Kamal.
Yeah, hi, yeah, who is it?
She's actually already with EXP, but we've been collaborating on she has a listing, I have a listing in San Jose, and I told her about the team, so she's feeling a little lonely where she is.
Okay, all right.
She can't join the Tuesday meeting, so I said, come to coaching.
All right, and her name one more time, Rana?
Kamal.
Kamal, hi, how are you? I'm Elias.
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm good. Welcome here. Thanks for being here. And Rana, thank you for introducing. So let's stay the course on this, you guys. This is about being able to tell your story. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate the quality of your services, or excuse me, the quality of your services? What we offer, the marketing, the package, everything that we do, right? I think we all understand that. There's some extreme benefits of listing your home with us. So let me hear from some people. Let's take yourself off of mute. Okay, Bo says a 5 to 6. Hector says a 7. I love that. That's pretty high. Cynthia, you said a 7. Let's see here. Dan said a 7. Mike said 5. Jason said 5. All right, cool. Awesome. So let's hear from you, Cynthia. You ranked yourself a 7. Why so high?
Because I know what we offer.
Okay, cool. So like you feel really comfortable with like, hey, these are all the things that we offer, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's like, here's our suite of services. You can open it up and there's
Exactly.
tons. Okay, cool. Let's stay here because this is gonna go somewhere, right? B. The B is the quality of your messaging. All right. Now we could take this in a couple different contexts. How would you rank the quality of your messaging when it comes to a listing presentation? If you're not there yet, how would you rank the quality of your messaging when you book for an appointment over the phone? Or thirdly, how would you rank your quality of your messaging when you are doing a buyer's consultation or when you're working with a buyer? I want to see these numbers because what I believe, based on the study that Iridium did, is that these numbers will be lower. Cynthia says 8 or 9. Cool, I love this. Bill says 5. Michael was a 5 and 5 on both. So Michael, I'm gonna come to you in a second. So 8 for Dan, I love this. Otis says 7. Antonio Ray says 5. All right, keep them coming, you guys. What else? Tammy says 6. Ooh, Jim says 3. So, okay. So I wanna hear from Michael and I wanna hear from Jim. Okay, all right, cool. Thank you for making that distinction. Cameron, all right, cool. Buyer presentation then 8, I love that. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So Jim, let's go to you, brother. And thank you for being honest. Thank you for being transparent. And Jason says 3. I want to hear from you as well, Jason. Okay, cool. So Jim, how high did you rank yourself on the first one?
5.
A 5. Okay, cool. So you feel pretty comfortable in what we offer as a company, right? Or what's
Right,
available to you.
I understand that the technology, all the services that Team Fast provides, EXP provides,
Yeah.
but I haven't utilized all the tools that's available.
Cool. Awesome. So then why did you rank yourself on the messaging so low? Why is it a 3?
Right, because I am a new agent. I feel that, I still need to continue to practice. Practice makes perfect. And as soon as I get, more practice, I think I can rate myself higher and I'll feel more confident with it.
Let me ask you a question, Jim. What would it take for you to feel more comfortable? What do you need to do in order to get to a 7 or above?
I would say role play. I need to role play more, connect with agents that have already mastered it. Just, taking more action and communicating more.
Totally. Because right now, Jim, what's going to happen? Are you prospecting?
I am beginning to. I got a script from Ben this weekend, so I'm working on practicing on my script and prospecting, cold calls, even door knocking.
All right, cool. So Jim, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen out of the blue. You're not even going to expect it, and someone's going to be like, you know what? Actually, we're thinking about selling our home in Fairfield. Do you think you could help us with that as well? Right? Or you think so? Know that moment is coming, and know that you need to do the groundwork now. So we're not playing catch up, right? So we're not working from like, oh shit, I need to panic, right? Because what happens when we panic is that we're not as prepared and we stress ourselves out. And when you have that stress on yourself, then that's going to come out in your energy and when you're conveying the message to the consumer. I want you to feel at ease because you know your shit. You have gone over tape. You have said these words so many times that it is fresh and it flows, right? So Jim, I appreciate you being honest and transparent. Let's go to Michael Swanson. Mr. Swanson, you had, I think, a 5 and 5 on both, bro. So let's talk through your numbers, man. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same place as Jim. Like I know the tools and I know what we offer. It's going to take repetition to master and just for it to roll off my tongue when I'm talking to clients about it.
At what part of the game do you feel the most confident? Like if you had to break it down, setting the appointment, buyer's presentation, or listing appointment, which one would you rank yourself the highest on a scale from 1 to 10?
Setting the appointment.
Setting the appointment. Okay, cool. So you're confident with that.
Yep.
Okay. Is it more so because they can't see you and something happens when they could physically see you, screen to screen or belly to belly? What happens?
No, I feel like I'm good with connecting with people and that initial contact, that initial information. And so I feel like it's easy for me to set the appointment. It's easy for me to give people the information that they need to want to know more and want to work with me and like me. And then, I don't think I'm horrible with the listing agreement or the buyer's presentation. I just think I need to polish it up a little bit.
Right. Because it's coming, right?
Right.
Like you're booking that appointment and what's on the other side of this, man, I got to get ready, right? I got to get ready. Like if they ask me to speak somewhere, man, I'm fucking ready, right? I'm ready because I know that like the things that we're doing, people are going to say, hey, can you share your story with us? I can't be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So it's just like that practice is so important. So I love this. Let's stay here. I want to hear from Jason and I want to hear from Cynthia. Jason, you scored yourself a -3, bro. Let's talk through this, man. I want to hear from you. Jason, you there?
Yeah, my bad. I was dealing with the baby. Yeah, so my thing is I always stutter over my words. I always over talk and I make things a little bit more complicated than I should.
Do your consumers say that, or do you believe that about yourself?
I believe it about myself because when I talk to clients, like when I try to do the buyers consultations, I kind of like just zoom through it. I try to find that balance between, okay, like be personable, talk to them about what's going on with their life, but also stay on track with the buyer's consultation. And I could do either or. Like, I could talk to you about your life and what you got going on in your background and your family, this, then, the third, or I can talk about what's going on with this buyer's consultation. And I get sidetracked. And then, like, even asking for the appointment, sometimes I get nervous. I'm like, well, hey, do you want to do a buyer's consultation? And I don't know. I've only had one so far. So,
all right, a couple things here, man. I appreciate you hopping in on this. It's not, do you want to? It's let's do this. Here's what we do next, right? Because it's a logical conclusion to the conversation that you had. Here, let's do this, you guys. Here's what we do next. Here's what's up next, right? So get used to saying those words. And then when it comes to the interruption of your own thoughts, think about this, man. Like, you could have, I always do pattern interruptions. Every single presentation I've ever done, there's always a pattern interruption. But what happens is that I interweave it throughout my presentation. I'll pause, pattern interruption, but then I get right back on the track, man. So it's okay to have that personalization, but then be like, all right, guys, let's go back into the presentation. Sorry, I get a little sidetracked. Yeah, that's my son in the background, but let me hit you with what contingencies are, because I'm sure that those thoughts are coming through your mind right now. So let me share with you what they are. So it's okay to take them over here for a second, but always bring them back on your track, man. Always bring them back, because you are the one that's in control of this entire presentation. You're controlling the pace. And Jason, what I'd recommend for you, man, is read the social styles handbook, because like you said, you'll speed up, you'll kind of go through fast through your words, like understand who's in front of you, and then understand what style of communication this person wants me to speak to them, and then try to go at that pace. It's a skill, man. It just takes time, Cynthia, you ranked yourself really, really high. So I want to hear from you. Let's hear both of your numbers one more time.
Buyer's presentation was 8. And then what was the other one? Services?
Yeah, so like, how would you rate the quality of your services? Like understanding of everything that we have to offer.
So that I would rate a 9. Communication, I would rate an 8, because I've studied it. I know what to say, when to say it, how to say it, but it's a culmination of years of training myself how to do it. Like, my work is my passion. So if I don't know these scripts, what am I doing? Right? So I just treat it like a career, and I study this shit, and I know what I have to offer, not just by myself. I know what the team has to offer too. And then being able to pick up on if someone is, if I come into someone's home and they're sitting like this and they're tapping their foot, or they're looking over notes, I know I'm going to have to slow this down and get probably pretty analytical and show the value. Whereas if someone's, oh, look at my house, look at this. Oh, we have this art piece over here. I'm going to talk about that art piece for 30 minutes and build that rapport. So it's just about knowing who you're saying something to, and then knowing how to say it. And then services, I hope we all feel like our services are top level. And if they're not, we should find ways to try to make those better. Again, it's your career, it's your job. Work on that, work on yourself.
Love it. I love it. Guys, because let's think about it. Like, we know the marketing, we could do a video, we do a campaign for just listed, just sold, we're going to knock on the neighbor's door, all these things, the quality of our marketing pieces, like what we're going to put on social. There's over 40,000 followers that this can instantly go out to. There's an internal platform called Slack that we're going to push out to all of our agents. There's about 300 in the Bay Area to get eyes on the property before we even hit the market, right? So it's like, you probably know all that stuff, but can you articulate it? Right? If you're sitting down and the client says, you have one fucking chance, share with me and compel me right now, everything that you have. And I want to hear the message. I want to be compelled. And I'm going to go from this to this. You have one chance. Can you convey that message accordingly? And if the answer is no, and if you're below a 5, then hey, it's cool, because that means there's room for improvement. There's some opportunity there for you guys to grow, right? We're constantly growing. And so I want you guys to really think about it. We'll hear from a couple other people. Hector, and let's go to Patrick next. Hector, let's hear from you, bro. What were your 2 numbers? Give me your first number when it talked about knowing the quality of the services that we offer. where would you rank yourself?
I ranked myself a 7.
A 7. Okay, cool. So pretty good understanding of everything.
Yes, and I actually within the session I identified what I need to do. It's really getting Express Offer certified and Home Light. I haven't registered with Home Light yet, so I fully understand how those really work for our clients. And then I ranked myself a 5 for listing, buyer presentation 8 for as far as quality goes. I'm really comfortable on the buy side, but on the listing side, I will say with more experience, I think that number will go up. And as Cynthia said, I think it's more of getting exposed to it. It's just going to come naturally. But I think for me, once I have those 2 things I identified in my pocket, I'm going to feel a lot more confident about what I talk about.
Victor, when you're dancing, bro, like when did it take you? No, seriously, and stay here with me for a second. At what point did you feel like, shit, like I got this, I'm on rhythm, I know it, I feel it, I can get everyone else to know it, to feel it? Like, when did that click for you? Because I think there's some direct correlation here.
I remember the day it happened. It was actually in high school. It was my very first, and no one knew that I danced, but I had been doing it on the background for a while. And it was the first time I had a show. It was like, I think it was like spring. Anyway, that day I got on stage, I was like, okay, it's time to let go.
Nice. And so you had been doing this in your room, probably practicing, probably recording yourself, probably missing steps. But then when it came time to showcase your abilities, I take it you killed it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Then take it, you still kill it.
I can, yes.
Okay, cool, bro. So it's the same thing, right, man? Same thing. So good stuff. Let's hear from you, Patrick. Patrick, you had your hand up, brother. Let's hear from you.
Oh, that was from earlier, but I'll go.
Cool.
For the buyer side, like buyer presentation, I feel like I'm an 8. Pretty good with that because I've been like pretty much practicing. I just need to get in front of more people. And then for like, I guess the listing side, probably lower than that. I want to say like a 4 or 5 since I haven't really spent too much time on that. But I guess with more practice, it'll make more progress. But for all the services that we have, I feel like I have a pretty good like foundation on that. Sometimes I do get in my head and think like I don't. But then when I'm talking to people at open houses or just like at showings, it just flows out of nowhere. Just like it just comes naturally. I'm like, hey, you know, how are you looking for a house? Like, for example, like yesterday I was talking to someone I met showing, and I was asking him just out of nowhere, like, hey, how are you looking for houses? And it led to getting them on Real Scout. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I do know my stuff.
Yes, I love it. I love it, bro. Yeah, and sometimes you don't realize how much you know. So let's do this. I want to do a live demonstration. Isabel, are you available?
Yes.
All right, cool. Isabel, play along with me. So really quick, tell me some of the benefits of EXP. Just go through the list. No, don't go into any detail. Give me 5 benefits of being with EXP.
Okay, 5 benefits of being with EXP. We're connected to a large network of agents all over the states, so we can bring outside buyers and outside investors to view your property as well.
Love it. Okay.
Our agents specialize in social media marketing, as well as using traditional marketing, and have centered into sharing your listing with whatever it takes.
What else?
EXP offers, I'm kind of new, so I don't really know what else EXP offers.
Okay, cool. So Isabel, my team of 50 agents is thinking about joining EXP. Can you tell me what rev share is?
No, I don't know. Rev share is,
So go on if you want to take a stab at that.
No, I don't know what rev share is.
Okay, all right, perfect. And this is why we're doing it, because right, sounds like she knows a little bit about EXP enough to be dangerous, but when asked the messaging to go a little further in the sales messaging about like a specific topic, right? If we had one chance, we would miss that opportunity if we weren't super clear on it. Because here's the thing, you guys, that's a huge missed opportunity for a lot of us, because you guys have this ability, you know, every single one of you knows that you have the rev share play, right? Show of hands, how many people know that you can make supplemental income with this company, right? Probably one of the reasons why you joined this company, right? Knowing that, and I can make supplemental income and I can help others make supplemental income, is my messaging at a 7 to 10 and how I communicate what that actually does, right? The answer for most people is like, well, so there's 7 layers and then you activate and then 5, but if you're on a team, you get less, but then if you're not on a team, you'll get more. And then that goes on, but then this level, and you're like, hold on a second, I'm fucking lost, right? That's normal, right? Look at Cynthia's smile. That is normal, that's what happens. But when you become a student of the model explained, when you watch videos from Brett Gove, from Tina Call, from Gene Fredericks that have studied it and can articulate that at the very high level, that's when you guys take this quality of messaging of the core, or the solution, or whatever that is, that's when you raise that number, you guys. So I want you to think about this in all aspects of your life. There's probably things that you can spit fire on and that you can present at the highest possible level. I'm certain of it. But I want you guys to have that same fire, that same ability, that same cadence, that same flow, that same rhythm, that same confidence as you would explaining those things, right? I believe with certainty and conviction that I could book an appointment if you gave me a handful of leads and said, hey, stay in this room and don't come out of here until you book an appointment. I'm confident that I'll book an appointment. I'm confident in my ability to do an effective buyer's presentation. Why? Because I've done it thousands of times with you guys, and I've done it with hundreds and hundreds of consumers as well. I'm also confident in my ability to do a listing presentation. However, that's because practice and practice and practice. What I want to get better at is explaining to a whole brokerage the benefit of moving their entire team over, less liability, less overhead, the ability for everyone to make huge amounts of money, and the team leader to relieve that stress off of him, because if something happens, they go through a painful litigation, guess what? That whole brokerage could fold. And then what happens to the families of all the people that he said and they know are super, super important to them and to their environment? What happens to them? Well, they're forced to go somewhere else. So that's the messaging that I'm working on and how to say that. So I want you guys to unpack everything, and I want you guys to really get clear with what are the things that I truly, truly want to get better at, right? Because you guys have all been trained. There's agents on this team that are going to do 50 deals this year, but you have to look and say, okay, if I was to develop this one skill, how could I elevate my entire game? Bill, you've had your hand up for a second, bro. Let's go to you.
Just kind of on topic and not, I'm very comfortable with buyers because I've done a whole lot. Sellers, I've done a few. But I also wanted to point out, I do have a guest on here today as well, Cameron Ellis up in Chico.
Hold on, Cameron.
Just wanted to do a shout out to him to come, and invited him to come and see the energy of this team and what this team has to offer. And like you were saying, the EXP offerage package, the rev share, the stock options, the team, the office space, we're not charging our agents for office space. We're not charging you to sit there and use a desk. It's free. And there's 9 locations in the Bay Area, building 1 or 2 here in Sacramento. And, it's constantly growing, getting bigger, getting stronger. And I think just the energy, the group of people, the Slack channel, the support, the backdoor side, where deals get done, agent to agent talking, not in the contracts. The group on this channel alone probably is one of the best support groups and teams that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. But on that same flip side, I'm not all that knowledgeable about everything Team Fast has to offer because I am remote from 90% of this team. So I'm still learning it a little slower and on my own, and not as readily available to get one-on-one coaching and show up in the offices for that. But it's still, it's made a definite mark in me as what this team specifically has offer. I have a friend that his wife, he called me and said his wife's back. She had some health issues. She just joined EXP. And I said, that's this. But I'll tell you straight up, my vision of it, it's not about EXP. It's about having the proper team in EXP. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
I love it. I love it. Dan, let's hear from you, bro. You always have some insight. You always drop data. You always drop knowledge. So talk me through your numbers, bro, and let's have a conversation with you.
Okay, me and on your. Oh.
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, so I gave myself a 7 out of 10 in terms of comfort with the information and just kind of the overall package. I feel like having somewhat recently joined the team, I'm mostly comfortable with everything that we offer, but don't have my arms around everything. So see still opportunity to just kind of get a better grasp of the full suite of services, but then also run through the process. Studying and knowing it is one thing, but actually having been through it and experiencing it a bunch is another. So I think as the more, especially on the listing side, the more of those that I go through, the more that number will ratchet up. As far as presentation, I, especially on the buyer side, rated myself pretty high on that. I feel pretty comfortable on that side. Sorry, my phone is ringing here. I think I feel comfortable landing most people, like if I get face to face with them, but presenting the kind of, you know, crossed arms people and getting that, like someone who's really on the fence, that I see as still a pretty big opportunity for improvement, getting in front of them. But if it's someone who like they have some degree of want to sell their house or buy a house, I'm pretty confident that they'll wind up doing it with me, or they decide not to do it altogether.
Yeah, but that also goes, you know, to how confident you are in your quality of your core messaging, right? It's like, yeah, I feel like if I had a chance right now, I'm going to win a consumer over. So, but that takes time because you have experience, man. And so I love it. Dan, in your career, there have been certain things that you've like taken time to study, to role play. Was there role play groups or accountability groups that you were a part of early on in your career? Talk through that.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, I think the biggest reason that I feel like I can rate myself an 8 out of 10 on comfort with going through the process is having gone through it, you know, had the conversation thousands of times, and the first 500 times, yeah, you know, the first 100 times it was a 2 out of 10, and then it was a 3 out of 10. But doing the role plays, so I've been fortunate to have been able to participate in, but then also lead a lot of training groups. And I think one of the best ways to learn something yourself is to train other people on it, because then it's like, oh shit, I got to get up in front of people and talk about this. So what questions might they ask, or what objections might they bring to me to say, well, what if someone says this? And so then, you know, you're forced to study, and then you're brought with new challenges. And so I think that's a really, really, really good way to be able to get better yourself at delivering something, is to have to teach others how to do it too. So I think I've been pretty fortunate that I've been forced to be in that position. And so that's really elevated my game when in front of clients too.
Yeah, I love this, right? I saw Cynthia shaking her head in total agreement, because
Dan was one of my early trainers, so I can attest to that. He's downplaying his numbers over
there. Well, and I know when you were going through training too, you might not have saw it, you might have been able to tell, but you know, before every session, I was stressing every single night and practicing and rehearsing and going through and staying up late and like, all right, this group's really on point. So I got to make sure I got all my answers ready, or, you know, all my information, because they're going to ask the questions.
I love that. I love that. You guys, I experience this in the most humble sense of these words, you guys. I experience this 3 times a week with you guys. I experience this every time I have to get in front of you guys and talk, right? So it's just like, when I look back at my notes, Amanda found my notes from boot camp the other day, and she's like, is this your preparation? I was like, yeah, babe, it's just 2 words and some scribbles, but I talk through it, and then that way when I'm in front of people, like I'm ready. And so, like, you guys, I still experience this, and I will always experience it, because I want to feel those nerves, but I also know that if I'm going to be sharing with you guys, imagine this, imagine one of you guys said, Elias, come on a buyer's consultation with me. I need your help on this. Yeah, let me go read through all the shit that I've been telling you guys to read through over the last couple of years, and then I'll be ready. But yeah, let's go. No, fuck that. Like, if I'm going to ask you guys to do something in this environment, you better believe that I'm fucking ready to go. Like, I am ready to go. So Dan, I love that, man. If you guys want to get better at present or at your presentation to elevate your number, teach that. Teach that. Dan, is that another hand up or is that the same hand?
Yeah. I had one more thought on that of something that I always keep in mind before going in. Elias, you made me think of it too, of like, I still get nervous before every presentation still, but the thing that I always tell myself is the physiological sensation of nervousness and excitement is exactly the same. The way your body feels if you're nervous or if you're excited is exactly the same. The difference is how you perceive it. And so before going in, I know I'm experiencing nervousness where, when I was really, really new, that was like nervousness, but just mentally reframing it as, oh, this isn't nervousness. I'm excited. My heart rate's up. My hands are kind of sweaty. I'm a little bit jittery. It's like, oh, no. Okay, this is excitement. I'm excited. I'm excited. And if you tell yourself that, then it becomes excitement and you can trick yourself into thinking away from it as nervousness.
I love it. I love it. You guys, I still get, like, when they asked us to speak in Mexico, that's 1,600 people in one room. I was super nervous. And I'm like, I couldn't catch my second breath. But as soon as they said, all right, you guys come on up the stage, like, I was like, all right, I turned that nervousness into excitement. And then you just start flowing. You're practiced enough, you're well-rehearsed enough that you understand exactly where to go and how to go about the conversation. So this is good conversation, guys. I absolutely love that. Let's hear from two other people. Let's hear from, let me see, Otis, my man, you're new to this group, but we met you last year. Glad that you're here, brother. Talk to me through your numbers and where you're at. And let's hear from you.
Thank you. Well, my numbers are still at 0. Quick rundown. I was supposed to join the team last year, but I decided to go with someone else. And I think that was kind of like the beginning of the wrong step for me. As I told Donna, because Donna's who's my mentor, who brought me to you guys now 2 times. What you guys have here is something special, because I can't speak for every other brokerage or every other mentor, but where I went to, my mentor kind of seen where my previous profession. I come from a journalist background. I've interviewed pretty much anybody you could think of, and not just in hip hop, artistry, celebrity chefs, the whole works. So I was really getting a kick out of when you guys were talking about the public speaking and everything. And my man Dan put it down on a tip. It's the same thing. It's learning how to channel that feeling. Athletes got that a lot. And entertainers have that a lot. Public speakers have that a lot. It's the ability to be able to turn that switch when you get those little nervous feelings in your gut, or you get that nervousness, being able to turn it off, which makes people great at that public speaking. But my numbers are at a 0 because my mentor seen that the fact that I was great at content creating, making videos, speaking. Like the first time we hooked up, he took me to this down. I mean, the place was literally falling off the foundation. I did a video and I sparked up about 12 buyers for him to come, and it didn't really work with me, but because I worked really hard on it, he did give me a little bit of the win with him. So that was like a big thing. But going on, I realized that it wasn't for the best of me, it was for the best of him in a sense. So my numbers were 0 because we got into a couple of deals, and due to them being waterfront properties and the banning of Airbnb, they all completely just fell apart. And this was a buyer that he already had a house for. This was going to be a second home. So that renting out of the Airbnb was really crucial. I got really discouraged, and then I pretty much had like the worst possible personal, like 6 months. I lost my father-in-law, I lost my aunt and 2 of my cousins, and it kind of triggered it back to my brother's death. So I've kind of been on the shelf for the last couple of months, and I'm coming here with you guys because I know I needed that. Elias, you talked about the breakdown, and as soon as I heard the 50%, I'm pretty sure like a lot of people, I kind of just turned it all off instead of really outweighing which would be good, and the services which you guys provide is which I need right now. So personally, I'm at a 0, but I know when I get my 5 up and my 7 up, I know that me personally, someone who's really good at public speaking and engaging with people, like I know if I got that booking, that I know I'm the type of person that will close, but I have to get through those other steps of doing everything. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
Love this. You guys, before we go any further, let's send some love, some light to Otis. He's had some loss in this year, man. We know what that can do to you and the toll that it takes on you, man. So we're sending you love. We're sending you light as team members. But I also want to share this with you. You are now in an environment you can use this space. Come in here and do weekly interviews, bro. Like, hey, go back and do lives with these people. Like that's going to be the way that you continue to build your brand. If that's something that you have done, something you're great at, then continue to lean into that, man, and we'll support you. And then as you grow and you get your foundation set, we have a whole freaking studio here, bro. You're able to grow in here and create some long form content, man. So I'm all for it. I love those skill sets. And I think that we can really, really help elevate you, man. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Kwanzo, let's hear from you, big dog. How are you, sir? Let's hear from you.
I'm doing well, man. Good to see your face. Hope you're feeling better as well.
I am a little bit, man. So I'm getting there.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going through the same thing yesterday or last week. My son caught it, and I fought it, and then it finally got it, and now my daughter's sick. So but we'll get over it. But on this topic, I got in a little late, but it sounds like we're talking about the numbers in terms of age and attraction. Is that right?
No, it was actually a different number. So we talked about, it was 2 surveys. It was one, it was the quality of your services and understanding, like, do you know, like how many services, say if you're working with the seller, you could probably write down everything. But then on the other section of it was the B section was the quality of your messaging. Could I articulate all the things that we have as a company to a concern where if I had one opportunity, could I do that? Right. So some people ranked 7, 8 on the first one, 3, 4 on the other one, right? Some people neck and neck, but for a lot of people, that second was a little bit lower because the messaging is sometimes what we struggle with the most.
Right. Got it.
Now you know the context of the conversation.
Thank you. I appreciate that to bring me up to speed with that. So basically, I think for me, I feel very confident with buyers and sellers. But messaging in terms of the benefit of the company, to explain that to a brokerage, I know that's some area I need to work on because I haven't put the time into that. For me, I used to be the type of person who was like, I need to get everything done, and I overwhelm myself. But then I started just really taking things in chunks. So I focused on buyer side first, and then I started focusing on seller side. And my goal is, after I really feel like I have the seller side really unlocked, like mastered, then I'm going to focus on the agent attraction piece. But just really quickly on what we're talking about, like one thing I find that was like a differentiator or a game changer for me is when it comes to public speaking or when you're talking with someone, there's that nervousness, right? But it's all about focus. If I'm focused on myself, then I'm focused on my fears, my insecurities, my inadequacies, and all these things about me. But when I channel that energy and I focus outward and I focus on the person I'm talking to, and I'm thinking about how I can really benefit that individual, that family, then like, because everything else that we've been doing, is all knowledge that we have been accumulating in our heads and in our hearts, and then you just connect with that person and focus on that. Then it's like, even if I stumble on my words and I stutter, I'm able to get my message out there because I'm really I'm focused on them, on their needs. So I think once you're able to, and I think the same thing when you're on stage, right? It's like, if we focus on our fears, our nervousness, then that's going to be one thing. But if you focus on how to really just project and give out to really serve, then it completely changes the game.
I love it, Kwanzo. Reminds me of what my mentor told me when I early on in public speaking career. He's like, when in doubt, man, just focus out, right? When in doubt, everything's going on, you're scared, you're nervous. He's like, just focus your energy out and connect, and everything will solve itself. And so I love that. I want to share a couple messages with you, and then Cynthia, I'm going to turn it over to you really quick. kind of where to find some of the list of services. I know it was said in the chat, but if you can articulate that. Two things, you guys. Tolerating message mediocrity is much more serious than companies realize. And I think that's why this message is super, super important. You guys have training, you guys have your license now, you guys have the ability to do so. Plus, there's some top producers on this call right now. What they're thinking is like, hey, well, I've been here for 2 years, I've been here for 3 years, I've been for X amount of years. Everyone's talking about like rev share and the ability to grow. That's a messaging that I need to get really, really clear on, right? Because shit, I grinded last year. I fucking made great money last year. I put up $20 million in my first year in business. Well, what's next? How long can that sustain? So you have to look at this and say, okay, what stage of the game I'm at? Where do I need to improve? And what part of the messaging do I need to get really, really clear on? I want to share one more thing with you. Consumers, and as well as you'll see consumers form a strong mental association between the quality of the story and the quality of the idea the story is selling. This is why complacency around poor messaging of any kind is so dangerous. You guys need to take the ownership and say, you know what, I am on. If I have an opportunity to make calls today, I am on. Why? I'm studying, I'm trained, I know my scripts, I know the market, I know the dialogue, I know how to understand communication. I understand how to understand consumer behavior because I've studied it. So when I hop on the call, guess what? I am ready. When I get the appointment to do a buyer's consultation, you guys, I'm not doing buyer's consultations every single day, but I promise you, I will run through a buyer's consultation and a client will feel like they are connected and they feel like they're educated. I promise you that. Same with the listing agreement or listing presentation. You guys have to own that moment, but know that it's coming. Take ownership of that. Cynthia, let's hear from you.
My puppy is having the zoomies right now, so I'm sorry if you can hear
What's
her.
What's a zoomie?
Zoomies? Oh, zoomies is when dogs go like crazy back and forth from one spot to the other.
Love that. I didn't know it was a word. I love
And
this.
then my older dog's over here like, what the heck is going on? Okay, so real quick, in Slack, there's a list of 184 things that agents do for you, basically to help you sell your home. Do not, if you're on your phone trying to search in Slack, it's really hard. So definitely suggest doing it on your laptop. And then there's high note presentations that you guys can find on there. Like Slack is where if you have a question, search keywords on Slack, right? So if I need to find a buyer presentation, I would pop into Slack, buyer presentation, or just presentation. And then someone asked me in the chat, is there anywhere that we can study how to talk to clients? Right here. Group coaching on Wednesdays and Fridays. We do more, or Wednesdays like market update time, right? So definitely do that. But we have, can I talk about prospecting bootcamp? Okay, cool. So we have, Eric and I are coming up right now with a new prospecting bootcamp for you guys too, where like one day, and we're meeting about it this week, so it's not formed yet, but like one day we'll have where we're going to teach you guys what to say, how to say it. And then the next day, you're going to actually pick up the phone and start calling people and using this, or go door knocking and talk to consumers, but practice with each other. If you don't know what to say and how to say it, how are you going to be able to talk to a consumer, right? That's where we start fumbling. So practice with each other. And if you don't know who to practice with, look, you've got 73 people here. Pick one.
All right, that's right. So George, I'm going to have you full circle, bro. Key takeaways, and then I want you to take us off the field today. That means take us off, something inspirational, something to think about, something to chew on, but takeaways from today, George, and then take us off of the field.
Okay, so I would definitely say my biggest takeaway is to honestly definitely utilize your sources, especially because EXP, especially Team Fast, does offer a wide variety of resources for us to utilize. Definitely don't be scared to ask for help or to put yourself out there. And honestly, no matter where you're at in your career, whether you're in the beginning or year 7, we're all still growing and learning. So definitely don't be nervous to really ask a question that you might be scared to ask. Let's see. Cynthia just said it, utilize Slack.
Yes.
I know I tend to be one of those people slack everybody else like, hey, where's this at? When I could just type it up at the top. And then let's see, what's a good quote my iWatch will say? In teaching others, we teach ourselves is the motivation quote for today.
Yes, and it goes right along with what Dan was saying. I absolutely love this. You guys, great stuff. Here's something to think about. Refine everything, improve everything, constantly be looking at that next level. Don't get complacent. Don't get comfortable in this business. Keep growing, keep grinding. You guys, this is all about evolution. That's what business is, and that's what real estate is about. So I appreciate you guys more than you know. On Wednesday, we're going to continue that high-level conversation about how to communicate about the real estate market. If you guys at any time need real estate facts, figures, stats, anything, make sure to come to me, you guys. That is my department. I'll make sure that you have all the information that you need, and then that should be built somewhere in your high note presentation, or you should be able to share with somebody. Well, why should I go with you, Hector? You know, you don't have many sales in this market. Well, our company was able to sell 884 units that are comprised of $674 million in production last year. So when it comes to managing assets, no other team in the Bay Area does it better than that. What other concerns do you have, right? You guys should be able to spit these numbers out because you know it, you've practiced it, your messaging is super, super clear. So my claim to fame is making sure that you guys all, even the top level communicators, become better communicators, and we're constantly growing. So appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. If you're going to be in Sacramento today, I'll be at our street this afternoon from 3 to 5. You guys can find us there. I'll be there from 3 to 5. I have a meeting at 1. So let's just say from 2 to 5, we'll be there. And then maybe we get some food afterwards. So peace. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Go out there and own your day and keep winning. Appreciate you all.